So, so I want to try to explain to you guys what's going on through my head because it's pretty interesting. I had to just go to my computer and hit record because I know I have to make this video, and not for the reason that you think I have to make this video, like I'm saving my reputation. But because if I don't make this video, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. Like for some reason, like 11 months ago, when like everything went down with my channel, um, I've just been like contemplating the perfect video, that'll fix it all. I'll just say the right words and everything will go back to normal. I have learned since then that that is not reality, and I don't want it to be reality. So basically, I'm here making this video really for the reason that like I want to get certain information across to people who care. Um, and I don't really know a better way to do that. You know, realistically, like yes, I would love for this video to like make it so that like it's easy for me to just return, go back to normal what I was doing before. But the reality is I could do that anyways. I'm in a good spot right now where artistically I'm confident enough in myself to where if I started making content, I believe that people would enjoy it enough. To basically just assume on their own that I'm doing good. I really don't need a video telling them I'm doing good, for them to understand it. Like, I could just go the sneaky underground, mysterious artist route that, like, honestly, I've seen everybody do. Everybody's doing it. But I decided no. So, despite how much I really am struggling, let's talk. All right, let's start from the beginning of like where things went wrong. I went to a show. It was a live show in California. It was Ethan Klein and Ela Klein performing. I had backstage passes. I met them. I talked with them. I related a lot to them, especially Ela, with her struggles with being Jewish right now, and like how like it's how do I say this? See, it's like even now, like I don't want to fucking talk about it. Like I really don't, you know. But what I want you to understand is that like my horrible response to this whole situation is a long term thing, or like is the result of a lot of stuff. You know, it's like the moment where things snap. It's not the moment where it's like everything went wrong. Basically, so like at this time, like I post a picture that I have with me, some friends, my fiance, Ethan and Ela Klein, and basically, I was like, yeah, I could post that. It's great. I didn't think it would be a statement. It was really stupid of me, because of course it's a statement. It's Ethan and Ela Klein. But I wasn't really ready for war. I wanted to back out. So like I basically just went against them and said, "You know what? I need to back out. I can't do this. You know, this is too hot." And then everyone called me a pussy, which I mean to be fair, like I kind of was, but also at the same time, I thought that my choice was understandable. Like I had a family to take care of, you know? Like I didn't want this to become my life. The problem is, it wasn't that easy to get out. So yeah, people are talking about it. I'm a hot topic. And my partner is freaking out because she's involved. She's a part of the whole equation. And I start trying to, say things to fix it. And when I try to help, it basically results in her screaming and crying that things are getting worse and that it's all my fault. So I'm trying to, keep my job because I'm paying her a ridiculous amount of money, like $5,000 a month, to basically do nothing. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't have a problem with that. Like, if I like paying her $5 grand a month so she could, lay around, smoke weed on the couch, and be happy. Great, you know. But I don't think that she really respected me. I don't think she saw things in me that were like important for her to see. So it went really bad. Like, as soon as the picture was posted, it like it became me panicking trying to fix it and her basically getting angry at me trying to fix it. I'd say that everything reached an apex when she recorded me in my house yelling at her through the door. I was fucking pissed. I was just like mad because I'm trying to fucking figure everything out in like an impossible situation. Trying to get things back to normal so that like we can live a normal fucking life. And she repays me by recording me in my house without my knowledge. She sends it to my parents. She sends it to friends. She sends it to people who are associated with Hive Mind. Yeah, and it's the biggest betrayal I've ever felt. I really I felt so violated. But like she couldn't hear that because she looked up that it was legal to do that, to like record me in that state. And because it was legal, it was moral to do that, But like, man, like at that point I was done with her. Like at that point I was like, this is fucked up. Like I'm doing everything I can in this situation to make things work. I love you, but we're not going to be a good match. So, yeah. I believe maybe like a week later, I was streaming. When I remember I was like doing a stream and then I left. I go to the kitchen. I see her sitting on the couch, like screaming and crying, and I'm pissed off. Like, because like I'm trying to focus, to get work done. And it felt like she was interrupting that. Now, here's the thing. What I want you to understand out of all of this, and remember how I said that it was all like, it wasn't just this scenario happening, that this was like a long-term effect. Well, I was so obsessed with my work. I became like completely locked into that. To the point of where she has told me that she felt completely invisible in the relationship. Yeah, my response to her crying was screaming at her, which was bad, but my justification was I am streaming right now. I can't have you like screaming and crying like in the house. I told her to go basically stay with her mother who lived like 5 minutes away. Instead of doing that, she got me kicked. Okay, so I'm like doing this thing where I'm like, you need to go to your mom's house. She's like, fuck you. This is my house too. And I'm like, I pay all the bills. This is all important. This is all important. Trust me. I pay the bills for this entire place. Like I'm keeping it up. You don't contribute shit to the equation. Get out. She calls the cops on me and they have me arrested for domestic violence. That is really where the story all starts. Like, I'm in a jail cell. This was like literally, there's like a clip of me that's like me talking about how I don't feel safe in my home. And then like an hour later, I'm in jail. You know? It's crazy. And I don't want to fucking say any of this. I don't want to talk about this. It makes me look bad. But I'm also now realizing that I don't really care because that's what happened. That's what I did. These are the choices I made. Anyways, yeah, so once that happens, the relationship is over. I'm just like, yeah. So, I moved back home and I go to rehab because, like, something's wrong, Like, all of this is happening and just I don't understand it. Rehab is okay, I learned a few things. Like in 5 months of being there, like, yeah, there was stuff that was helpful, but man, I felt so betrayed. She basically she moved to Detroit. And here's kind of where it gets difficult for me. Because it's one thing like losing your partner. It's another thing like with losing hive mind. Like the fact that like these two things were so connected. I almost killed myself over it. Like, I had this and I had pills. However, good news is this happened 3 months ago and there's this much alcohol in the bottle. It means something went well. It means something's going right. Let's talk about hive mind. Hive mind is a collective of guys who I very much respect. But Riley's a diva and Graydon's a brute. Here's the thing though. That just makes me like them more because they're very human. In fact, I think that like their flaws are the things that really, attracted me to them. What really made me like interested in them as people. What made me connect with them on like a much deeper level. So, the fact that like my ex moves to Detroit, like around all these like hive mind people, and then starts like dating Graydon's roommate, and like Riley leaves me on red, and it's just like, wow. I really love the people at Hive Mind still. Like, in case you don't know who Hive Mind is, I collaborated with them. They're like a pretty big channel, but just they did to me what they did to Nick is Not Green. I remember when I was there and they were telling me the story. Nick is Not Green, great friends, he has his thing that happens, and bye-bye Nick is Not Green, no longer associated with the name. Now, of course, at the time, I'm just thinking like, oh, thank God I'm on the right side, of this shit. But then I ended up on the other side of things. And I would say became friends with Nick is Not Green, but I honestly I think he sent me a message like 5 months ago that I never checked. So even then, like, not doing great with that. But like, I got to see that perspective. I got to see both sides. And in my opinion, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Moving on. Let's talk about where things start getting good. Look at this picture right here, okay? Now, I'm going to explain this picture later, but this is a bee being, that's dead. It's being carried by an ant. All right? I saw this with my own two eyes in nature. A bee being carried by an ant down a line. All right? Like that was that's some life-changing stuff. It's weird. It's like it's really symbolic to me. But maybe it's like maybe I feel like it's a symbol of me somehow overcoming, a lot of stuff that's been going on. It starts with 4 months ago when I decided to stop streaming and stop working. It basically came down to I can't do this anymore. I can't fucking do it anymore. Like something is wrong. So so I'm like I don't really know what is wrong, but I just feel like I shouldn't stream. So instead I start watching movies. And I kind of come to the idea that like I don't really know if I should work cuz I really don't want to. You know? So I just kind of keep sitting around all day watching movies. And then it's like the stuff with my ex and then like with Hive Mind and how that's all connected. I can't get it out of my head. I fucking can't. It's like no matter what I do, that's like my ex leaving to go and like be a part of Hive Mind and fuck Graydon's roommate, Like yeah. Well, I wasn't taking it so well. So just thinking every day how I was going to kill myself, and then eventually came up with drinking and pills. Then my cousin came and visited, and everything changed. This was the moment where it all turned around. I'm driving with him. I live in Arizona. And so I'm driving with him in the car, and he is oohing and awing at the world around him, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? This is like this brown, dead, like shitty spot. Like, how are you finding anything of beauty here? And then we go upstate, and he's talking to my dad, and he's like connecting with my dad in a way that I've never connected to my dad. And he's like very peppy and optimistic. And then I'm having dinner with him and my mom. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I had to move back in with my parents. That was another big reason I wanted to kill myself. I went from like big shot to, back to the place where I thought I was running from, where I thought that it was like, this is where all the problems were. My cousin invites me to go to Switzerland and Egypt with him. And reluctantly, but quickly, I answer yes. Because I know how important this is. If this is like going to do what I think it is. And I mean, I already wanted to die. So like what is there to lose at this point, right? So, time comes. I leave the country. It's amazing. Switzerland is absolutely gorgeous. Being around people who don't speak the same language as you is really nice. Because like, I didn't feel anxious. As if like everybody was watching me, just like I always feel like I have to connect with people, and when they're not speaking English, like there's no chance for me to connect with them because I was fucking lonely. I had no friends out here. I didn't know how to talk to people. Like I literally felt like I couldn't get out of this, and for a moment I didn't have to. I could just be in it. I could just indulge in it. And it's that mindset that really got me like really far through this whole process. Yeah, I mean, I had fun with Switzerland and Egypt. There's not really much to say. I took a picture that's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I'm waiting to write a song for it, because I need to crop the image and add an explicit symbol on it, because then it becomes the real deal. You'll see one day. I come back. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling all right. But I have a plan B in case that happens. And that's that I had a second vacation planned. The second trip was to Minnesota to basically sleep in a music studio with a bunch of people that Dylan, basically, he's friends with. And we're all going to stay in this music studio while Dylan records music. And, with doing this, I connected with people and I found like a family through it. And I realized, oh, there are people like me. I can connect to people. This is like, not only that, but I could connect to people who are interested in the same thing as me, and it doesn't need to be online. Being in the studio showed me that, like, there's all this cool stuff with music, and I don't need to just, like, be stuck behind a desk doing YouTube for forever. I come back, and I'm like, okay, that was, like, the greatest experience of my life. Like, that was life-changing shit. And now, all of a sudden, I'm doing pretty good. But I still don't want to work. And it's weird. I don't really fully understand why. Because, like, I'm feeling better, right? Why don't I want to go in front of a camera and have everybody, listen to me talk about stuff and judge me for it, Turns out that it's not because I don't like that. But it's because I've actually burnt myself out so badly with music that I fucking hate it. And not only that, but Brad taste in music, like thinking the name, saying it out loud, gave me like this, even now, gives me this sinking pit in my stomach feeling. Like this just absolutely awful feeling. Like I don't feel happy thinking about working on my YouTube channel anymore. In the same way that I used to, or at least I didn't. I'll say that, like, right now, it's better, but, like, 2 months ago, it was pretty much, like, I'm enjoying everything else that has to do with music right now that isn't, like, my job. I'm starting to, like, care about it again, and that's because of one thing. My friend Kendall, I would visit him. We would go and watch a movie, and then we would sit at the park, sometimes in my car. We would smoke weed, and we would listen to music. And watching him react to the shit that I was playing, and hearing how it was making me feel, and seeing his reaction, and just like, it was amazing. It was just what I needed. So after that, I started, I wasn't even thinking about music after that moment. Or, I'm sorry, YouTube after that moment. It just became, how do I entertain this guy? So I just started driving and listening to music, thinking like, okay, will this song like go hard, being high in a car with him, And I ended up just like saving a bunch of songs that I felt would work in that environment, specifically for that environment. And then, and then I'd share them with him. But he's not always available. And every single day I'm out like for hours just driving with no destination, just listening to music. I need other people to hang out with. So I have other friends who, once again, I can just like sit in the car with and listen to music and chill out and show them things. And all of a sudden I'm starting to find, that interest in all this stuff that I cared about before. And I'm starting to remember why it is that I like it. It's on a good path. And then I do something that, okay, let's just say a week ago. It's the reason I'm making this video, because I finally feel like I'm actually ready to make this video. A week ago was where like it all came together. Remember how I said I never really had that real connection with my dad? Well, I wondered if it was because like he never had someone in his life just like unconditionally listen and want to be around him and just give him attention, just pay attention to him. I did that, and it was magic. It was incredible. I now have a real relationship with my dad, and a lot of that was built on like like we would wake up and we would go and we'd drive up a mountain, and we there was this exact bench. We would in the trunk of my car we had like tribal drums and a gong, different sticks to hit things with, and I was making music in nature with my dad, you know, and just like connecting and like improvising. And it was great. Like it was good shit. Like I discovered like, through this time with my dad that he is uh, I'm just going to say it, like a musical genius, which I'm like perfectly comfortable saying because I've heard how he puts sounds together, and it's like nothing I've ever heard. It's immaculate. Like like it's at the highest degree, which is amazing because I thought my dad was just an asshole when he said that my music wasn't good, or the stuff that I liked he wasn't like connecting with. But then like I actually finally heard and saw what he saw, and it all made sense. I was like, "Oh shit. You really are looking for frequency. Like you're looking for nesting. You're looking for environment, atmosphere, like more than anything." And amazingly, that's what I look for the most out of anything. So we just artistically clicked. And yeah, so he's going back to work. Looks like I'm supposed to be going back to work, but I'm gonna be honest, I might not even go to work. I don't even think I care enough, to be honest. Um, yeah, especially if I post this video, I'm definitely, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, let's think. What have I not mentioned yet? There are many members of the community who've given a lot to this channel who have received absolutely nothing in return, not even an like acknowledgement from me, in a way that's cold, in a way that they recognize that they feel and they feel betrayed with. I've lost 2 discords. Okay? I've lost 2. Not 1. 2 discords to mutiny. All right? So clearly I'm not doing something right. I'm aware of that. However, all I can do is try my best moving forward. And see. Oh yeah, stream FK Twigs. There you go. All right, that's it. Bye.